How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Well, it's nice to talk to you. Repulsion is a big name in extreme metal history, so I'm glad to have you here. And my first question is, you only released one full album, but the band became a legend, right?
No, it just happened. I mean, what happened really is that the band sort of broke up almost immediately after we recorded the album. We were trying to get a record deal so that we just wanted to go on tour, and we didn't get a record deal right away, and it was hard to keep a band together at that time. I mean, it's still hard for people to keep bands together, but the reason was because, well, partly because of where we lived and partly because of the style of music we were playing. Both were where the music was very extreme for the time, so a lot of musicians just didn't get it. A lot of drummers couldn't play that style, so it was very hard to find like-minded people to play with. Yeah. And as soon as we recorded the album, one of the guitar players, Aaron, we recorded the album in June. In July, he had a son that was born, and the drummer, Dave, he sort of just drifted apart from us, and we tried playing with a different drummer, and wasn't really getting anywhere. We knew there was no other drummers where we lived, so it was just hard. We just kind of put it on hold. We never really broke up, officially. We just kind of put it on hold because we didn't have the right drummer. We didn't have the right personnel. I'm talking about Matt and I.
Yes,
but we never found any. By the time we could have found somebody else, we had all just sort of moved on to other things.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to find a metal drummer like that, extreme metal drummer, right?
Yeah. Even today.
Yeah.
It's like every metal drummer now plays blast beats.
Yes.
But they don't, and we didn't even call them blast beats back then, so that terminology wasn't even invented at the time. So it was hard to find a drummer that could play like that then, and it's hard today to find a drummer that can play blast beats for 2.5, 3 minutes straight. Yeah. Where most songs, even by the most extreme bands, the blast beats last for a few seconds, where it's like an accent or it's a verse and the chorus. We have 75% of our album is all blast beats.
Yeah.
So that are 2 solid minutes of blast beats with no breaks. So it's hard even today to find drummers who can play like that. Not to say that it's impossible or anything, but it's rare, especially to play it the way we want it to be played, which is 1 foot blast beats. Very simple. We like the drummer to have a small kit. It's very punk rock,
Yes.
I think there's a lot of misconception, or maybe just it kind of goes without being noticed so much, how much Repulsion was influenced by punk rock. So we didn't want all the trappings of a metal band. We didn't want double bass drums, triplets, fancy drum fills, super polished guitar sounds, and clean bass, and all those things. Super great production. All those things, they don't mean anything to me. So I like raw and dirty, and when it comes to this kind of music, Matt and I are on the same page. We want it to be raw. We want it to be simple and primitive.
More old school.
Yeah. Old school is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that sound. I love that sound. Okay. Now, do you think Horrified will be different if you release it today with the internet? With the internet or streaming?
I mean, releasing it into the world today would be hard to really to figure out, because I think as far as the type of music that we play, it changed the world. So, without it, other bands that were heavily influenced by it would have sounded different. So perhaps if we were to do it the same way and come out at, with the same amount of sort of impact, it would be different. But as far as like just release, if there were already other blast beat bands and we were just one of them, I don't think it would really have much of an impact today, because there's so many bands that are way more extreme than Repulsion, just factoring in the way they record, where
Yes.
the kick drum is like pounding through your chest, and the snare drum is like tearing your face off, and the guitars are super over the top. I just don't think that it holds up. The extremity for the time obviously is really extreme, but if it was unleashed in today's world with all these bands that are around today, power violence bands and Cannibal Corpse and Suffocation and all these like we don't hold a candle to those bands as far as extremity goes,
But there, I think there are also people that like that kind of sound, like, and also I think actual or modern metal, it's more deathcore, what you can find in social media, it's more like deathcore, things like that. It's only breakdowns all the time. Pros. So okay,
social media kind of works the way that tape trading used to work in the old days, except you can reach everybody at the just press send and you're in contact with somebody, and instead of waiting for a package of tapes in the mail, you just instantly can exchange music with people through links.
Many new bands say you are a big influence. How does that make you feel after so many years?
I think it's cool, that the band. It's great that people still like Repulsion. I mean, it's wild. I mean, look, we're playing in Mexico for the first time ever after almost 40 years, and doing this or waiting for this to happen. It just sort of like it's a lot of circumstances came together. Like Matt and I living in the same town, and like the fact that we've remained somewhat youthful and could still play and are still interested, and then the fans are interested. So the fact that people want to hear it and we can go out, we have fun doing it. So it's cool, and it's great that there are still bands being influenced by it. It's crazy. It's not something I would have imagined when we recorded the album and put it on the shelf. And when we put it on the shelf, I thought, that's it. No one will ever.
Yeah, you didn't expect that, right?
Will get buried by time and dust, as they say,
You were playing, recording, enjoying the time, and you didn't expect that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I've been, playing music in bands most of the time since then. Not all of the time, but very frequently. I've made quite a few records. I look and I'm like, wow, I saw somebody made a Wikipedia page for me, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I've played on more records than I thought I did, and done quite a bit of stuff in very different avenues of music. But Repulsion is the one that just is everlasting,
Will you say it was like the project?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was, because we're talking about that prime time in your life when you're like a teenager and everything is just like super intense. You don't give a shit about anything else in the world except for what you're focused on right at that moment. The entire world outside is completely shut out. And also, when we were kids in Flint, Michigan, somewhat isolated. Flint is a pretty decent sized city, but it's, culturally not very, it's an industrial town. So there's not a lot of arts and things like that. There's a small group of people there that are very devoted and passionate. But yeah, so, it definitely was like the most intense project I've ever worked on.
Oh, you're right.
We were only together for that version of the band with Dave Grave and Aaron and Matt, and I was together for like 6 months,
In extreme music, here's the other question. In extreme music, where is the line between noise and real meaning for you?
Somewhere just beyond. So I don't know. It's somewhere beyond Repulsion, that's for sure. Because I like Napalm Death, and
Yeah.
I've liked some pretty extreme bands, but yeah, noise. I don't know. I mean, I have friends who are in actual noise bands, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. To me, that stuff, like I have a hard time relating to it. But if there's like riffs and some sort of discernible vocal. I'm not really into the like Cookie Monster style vocals where it's just like a gurgling sound.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a backed up toilet or something,
Yeah.
But I mean, I like to be able to understand the lyrics.
The lyrics.
Yes. And I wouldn't say that beyond that is noise. I would just say beyond that is beyond my appreciation,
Does Repulsion have a message, or is it just about energy and chaos?
There's not really much of a message. I mean, there's a couple songs that were like sort of like topical things that I was thinking about at the time, like Slaughter of the Innocent, which is about the same sort of thing that we see going on in the world today, where, very powerful men are dropping bombs on families and babies and blowing up hospitals and,
Yeah.
Blowing up children who are completely innocent of,
That sucks.
innocent,
Yeah.
fodder in this whole mess that the world is in right now. There's no reason that children and innocent
Agreed.
families should be killed for war.
Yeah.
And that sadly, the same thing we were singing about in Slaughter of the Innocent, nothing has changed today. So it's kind of a sad thing to say that song is still relevant. It's unfortunate that it is, but that's
Still
the world we
yeah.
live in. So yeah, but most of the songs are just about zombies and being silly. Most of the lyrics are absolutely silly and written tongue-in-cheek. There's only like one or two songs where the lyrics were more serious. In fact, it may be just like the stench of burning death and slaughter of the innocent, which were more and pestle and decay as well. Those were the three that I wrote that I was sort of thinking about, like discharge and the Cold War and the possibility of nuclear holocaust. The rest of the songs are just either about fear or fun, goofy zombie stuff, or horror movies that I was inspired by, like Gates of Hell or Reanimator or something like that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What keeps you going after all these years? Like, what still inspires you to play live?
Really, the only thing is that it's fun. And Matt and I are still friends. We still live in the same city. We live in Los Angeles now. But yeah, it's fun to do. And people ask, and it's like we look at what we do when we look at a gig opportunity is we just base it on one thing, like, is it interesting?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to go play the same cities over and over again because we only have one set. We don't have like new music to promote or anything like that. So really it's about, is this an interesting gig? So obviously playing in Mexico is of great interest to us. We've never been there as a band, and it's a beautiful, wonderful place with great people, great music fans, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about Candelabrum, so we're really looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. It has everything, and especially bands that they've never been here before.
Yeah.
Cold bands, things like that. It's amazing.
Excellent. About a week before we were offered the show, I met a guy from Mexico at the airport. We were both coming back from California Death Fest up in the Bay Area. Where, Sacrifice and Dismember and Sodom, and a few others played. And I met this guy at the airport, and he told me, like, that if we were ever going to do a festival in Mexico, it should be Candelabrum.
Yes.
And like a few days later, we got the offer. So
wow,
it's the one
for sure. Yeah, For sure. Is there one Repulsion song that you still love to play on that, or one that feels special on stage?
I really like the two songs sort of back to back of Festering Boils and Pestilent Decay. I like Maggots in Your Coffin. Those are songs that were like, they have like good memories to them. Like, one of them, like the Festering Boils, my next door neighbor who was like 4 years younger than me, he was sort of like a little brother to me. He like had the title, and he had a boil on his arm at the time. He was writing these lyrics, and he just had like a couple of lines, and I looked at the piece of paper and I was like, I'm stealing this, and I went and finished the lyrics, and yeah, I like those kind of songs too. I like the bouncy sort of like swing that it has to it, and good riffs.
What do you want to tell? What do you want a young fan to feel when they see Repulsion on Candelabrum Fest?
I want them to feel like they're seeing Repulsion, you know, like I don't want them to look up at the stage and see like a bunch of old men trying to like relive the glory days. It's like, yeah, of course we're older, you know, but I feel like we still perform with the same sort of passion that we performed with when we were younger. So we always have fun on stage. We always try to deliver the goods. We're not just like standing there looking at our feet and you know, phoning it in. We're going to be present, and we're there to kill. So I'm hoping that the people walk away feeling like they're satisfied that they finally saw Repulsion and it was actually good.
There's something that I've been thinking these days after watching the Back to the Beginning concert.
Yeah.
And yeah, like people at rock musicians or metal musicians, they have 70 like things like that, and they have lots of energy. Most of all, can you describe a Repulsion show in 3 words?
Loud, fast, and unhinged. Always sort of just to add those are the 3 words, but you know, it's always sort of teetering on the brink of falling apart, and that's kind of what the band was always about. It's like push it to the limit.
Yeah.
Like we shouldn't be completely in control. It should be a little bit of chaos. Yeah. That's the way I like it.
So we expect mosh pit, wall of death, something like that.
Yeah.
What do you expect from a Mexican crowd?
Well, we live in LA where there's a lot of, you know, people of Mexican heritage at our shows, and they are the best death metal, grindcore, thrashaholic kind of people I've ever seen in my life. And they're passionate and full of love and energy, and I expect the same thing. I expect to see something very similar in Mexico. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it very much.
It's gonna be like that, I swear. I promise. Are there any bands at the festival you want to see or excited to play with?
I wish that we were playing on the same day as Tigers of Pantang.
Oh, yes.
Showing you how old I am, you know, like I've never seen Tigers of Pantang, but I think they're playing on a different day, so I probably will miss them.
Well, thank you so much. Would you like to say something to the Mexican crowd, the Mexican fans that are going to Candelabrum?
We look forward to seeing you, and let's have a beer and have a great time.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Scott. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
I'll see you there.
I hope I get to meet you at the show.
Yeah, of course, I'll be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.